I'm Heather Glass.
I'm Heather Glass, okay. And we met on Friday, right? You came up and you said, oh my gosh, I got to meet you. I'm so excited. Okay. So tell me your story. When did you first get introduced to the iMRS 2000?
Actually, it was about 8 months ago, and ordered a unit and started, had heard about the, some of the results from one of your, from you, really. I actually saw you online. And so I decided, well, if this is, some people are seeing relief with their sinuses, I want to see if this will work. So about 8 months ago, didn't actually receive my unit until January, and then started using it, and after less than 2 weeks, had immediate results with the iMRS 2000.
What was wrong with your sinuses?
So I was chronic with sinusitis.
How many years?
15 years. And I'd had I'd tried everything from every different type of antibiotic to where I actually became resistant to a few of them. I had two different types. I had bacteria and fungus growing, and I had nasal endoscopies done monthly to determine what it was, how they would treat it. So after 15 years of agony, I decided to have a surgery. That was great from the standpoint of being able to fix some things, fix my septum, did some things that anatomically had to be corrected, but I was still chronic. So no matter how many nasal washes I did, no matter what type of saline I, sprayed up in my nose, steroid sprays, it wasn't working. I was chronic every month. So, antibiotics were drying out my skin, they were affecting my stomach. It was an awful way to live. So I, had a pretty good amount of depression from that because I had just dealt with it for so long. So got the probe and didn't even realize at the time that by just holding it in one area, it would resonate across all of the sinus area. So I was, doing it across my sinuses, and I thought, this is going to take a while. This has been a chronic condition, so it could be months before I see any relief. At the time when I started using the probe, I was infected. I had a sinus infection. And I was on my way back in to get more antibiotics, which I didn't even know if that would, the day after I would end a course of antibiotics, I would be infected again. I mean, it was that quick. So something was wrong. So anyway, I started using the probe, and within 2 weeks, I had no infection in my nose.
Come on, you're serious. How do you know you didn't have an infection?
I had done endoscopies to determine that the infection was gone, and not only was the bacterial, but the fungal. I had to wait 6 weeks to get all of the results back to know, okay, you really don't have anything else growing in there. So after growing different types of bacteria and fungus in my nose for that long, it was determined that I was infection-free.
Okay. So Heather, let me ask you this question. What would you say to someone who's watching this video online about the iMRS 2000 for people with sinus infections? What would you say?
It has absolutely changed my life. I looked and tried and did everything I could possibly do for my sinuses except for the iMRS 2000. And it wasn't until I started using it, I started feeling better, I started looking better, and I've had remarkable results with my sinuses. I would recommend to anyone that has sinusitis, try it. See what it does for you, because I can't believe the results I've had from it. It's been incredible.
And how long have you been infection-free?
I have now been infection-free since January.
Okay. Wow, that's awesome. So here we are. This is March 29th, almost April, so 3 months. Did that ever happen before?
Never. Not even after my surgery, which, great. Glad I did that too. Hey, you're going to probably go 6 weeks before you really feel normal and your sinuses will be back to normal. I was never infection-free. There was not a time, even through a course of antibiotics, I had one or the other, either bacteria or fungus, growing at the same time. So, yeah, it's never happened in 15 years.
That's great.
So it's pretty incredible.
Well,
for me.
Thank you, Heather, for sharing this.